Hey, everybody. It is time for the animal messages for May. I'm only laughing, and I know I say this at the beginning of every video, but I cannot believe that it's already May. Although I do have to say May is my favorite month. Just saying. As I look out my window, there's a cherry tree that's right outside my window, and it's just starting to really burst full with blossoms and whatnot. So I'm really excited about that. Anyway, so May 2025, the animal messages. So as you know, for April, the message that came through for that the animals were helping us work through was intolerance. And I'm still really curious how intolerance, how the animals helped show you some intolerance, where you even found intolerance in other ways, and how did your animal work with you through that. I had a number of different things happen that I was like, oh, look at that, there's intolerance. And remember, we had wolf energy too, helping us as a teacher, help us try to understand what all the intolerance meant from a teaching even perspective for each of us, because our own intolerance can help us learn something more about ourselves. And for me, what I really learned about intolerance areas in myself was when I found myself being intolerant, I could find either and or all of the above. I found a lot of anger. And to me, anger is an indication of a deeper emotion. For me right now, just because of everything that's happened in this past 8 months, there's a lot of sadness in there. But what I also found is fear. I would be intolerant of a situation or something if I was really afraid that I either wasn't going to do it well, or I wasn't worthy to do it, or something to that effect, or it really kind of rocked my safe, secure, and protected feeling. And that was just this moment to be able to realize, oh, look, that's intolerance. Oh, look, that's intolerance. And I found it in the smallest of things. Big things, don't get me wrong, I found in big things, but I found it in smaller things too. Which oddly enough was also when I was really working with Lucas the most. And it would be when we were taking our daily walks out in the nature preserve. People have a propensity to not clean up after their dogs. And it's one of my biggest pet peeves, because what our dogs eat and the vitamins that they take and the medicines that they take, they poop them out, and those aren't found in nature. So they're exposing all the other animals and the mycelium network and all the creatures underground to some things that can very well be toxic. And people don't realize that dog poop is actually some of the most environmentally harmful substances out there. So I always try to clean it up. I take extra bags with me and I clean it up. What I was finding is that I was getting angry too, as I was picking up all of this dog poop, because it's just like people, because there's like you can get dog bags throughout. There's different stands out in the nature preserve where you can get a dog bag. Easy peasy, right? No, I still am cleaning up. So I've called myself the dog poop fairy. I would very much like to get put out of a job. I'm just saying from that perspective. But I would get kind of angry about it. And Lucas would help me realize that I was angry, because he would either stop dead. Well, he would find a lot of it, not that he's going to do anything with it, but he was actually working with me to point it out so that I would pick it up. But he was also just like taking a moment so that I could kind of feel a little bit deeper into why does this make me so angry? And for me, it's all about disrespect. And which for me, if I'm disrespected, then I don't particularly care for that, because then I feel like I'm not doing something good enough. Like I can layer it all the way back to, I'm not doing something good enough to do my part. And so therefore, and I'm very cautious about doing my part. And so if someone's not going to do their part, then that undermines me. There's a whole lot of stuff. I could do a whole thing on that just alone, because it's so entwined. But Lucas was helping me find them. We would clean them up. If I was having a, okay energy around it, meaning like I wasn't getting super angry, I was like, okay, this is me helping the environment heal. Then he would stay quietly by my side. We would pick it up. He'd look at me, give me a smile, and off we go. If I was like really, oh my God, I can't believe to pick this up again, he actually would pull on leash, try to pull me away, pull me off, which would make me even angrier, until I got to the point where I'm like, oh, I see what I'm doing. I'm really angry. So it was interesting how he was helping me even with that bit of intolerance. So I just wanted to share that. I'm curious to hear how intolerance worked for you. Here's the thing, is that work that we did on intolerance and the work that we've done on accept and the work we've done on be, as well as the theme of faith for this whole entire year, which was also January, is laddering up to where we are going in May, which in May, their message and their homework for us, probably even more important of a word, homework for us, is stillness. Very hard to do. And as you can hear, my wind, I don't know if you could hear the wind chimes before, but they just went still, and it's really windy outside. And those wind chimes are from my dog, India, in spirit. And the fact that they just went still, I'm like, oh, thank you, girl. She's got our back. So we're working on stillness here in May. And it's interesting to me that we're doing this in May, because May, everything, like I said about the cherry trees and the deer, everything is bursting forth, right? There's a lot of energy that's coming up, coming out. We're in a new season where we're moving into summer. Like there's a whole lot of stuff. And yet it is so much more important for us right now to find stillness. And I'm going to say that from my own practice, I find it very, very difficult to be still. And by still means sitting or laying down quietly. Try to get your mind to calm down. Your animals are going to help you. They can help you big time with this. But I find it really hard, because the moment I start to get still, I feel like I have to get up. I have to go do something. I have to not even think about that emotion. I might be starting to cry because of my dad. And it's like, nope, got to do something else. So I've overloaded my plate again with a lot of things, and we're being asked to be still so that we have an opportunity to integrate what we've learned, and even to find some magic in what we're learning, what we see, the signs. The more still we are, the more signs can come to us. The more signs come to us, the more open we are. The more open we are, the more signs we come to us. It becomes a whole thing. What's also super interesting is I pulled cards because I thought, well, Wolf was fun last month. And I thought, well, let's pull some cards and see what happens. So I did that, but I was also reading. So I read, I'm very much into the mystics, and I have this book from Matthew Fox that is Christian Mystics, and it's 365 readings. And so I was reading today's, and it talks about, it's from Thomas Aquinas, and it talks about this third relationship when you're an artist to your art. So there's the artist, that's me. I have a relationship with me. There's the creation that I make. That's the second relationship. But the third relationship is in the making. And I find that our culture is so much more about, let's get it done and move on. Let's get it done because I want the thing. Let's get it done. But we don't really stay in the getting it done part or the making part of it. And that's where the mystics are saying, let's have that relationship with the making. And to do that, that also requires some stillness, because as you begin to create or you begin to engage, to have a moment of stillness to realize, okay, here's where I am. I'm setting my intention. This is what I'm going to create. That stillness ahead of time, and even the stillness afterwards and reflection, helps you enjoy the process that you've just gone through. All of life is a journey, right? And we're to enjoy all of this and not worry about where we get at the end, or like, hurry up, if I get all this stuff right, it's going to be perfect, and then I can, right? These if-then statements, instead of being in the process and being in the stillness. So that's where we are this month. Now, your animals can help you with the stillness simply by, and I'm going to do this, I'm going to lift my computer up so you can see if him. Oh, where is he? He's over there. There he is. Hi. So Lucas, great example. When I need to be still, he doesn't move. Even if see, now he's going to come behind me, underneath my desk, just because he wants to support. But if I find myself moving far too much, or I find myself not taking enough time between sessions or anything like that, what he does is he usually will come out from behind my desk and he'll lay in my way. And we have a ritual where then I'm like, oh, okay. So I get down on the floor with him and I just be with him for however long I'm able to do so that I can manage my energy. I can recognize what just transpired, and I can just kind of let go and be still for a little while. He's going to help me do that. When I need to move, he's going to move. When I need to be still, he's going to be still. So watch for that behavior, especially if your animals are unwell for any reason, they're going to rest more, but they're inviting you also to rest with them too, because they also want you to be still in whatever process, the healing process, potentially to transitioning process. They want you to be still in that process so that you can actually open up and hear a little bit more. So, and to that point, then I pulled 3 cards, thinking, oh, this was fun. Let's do this again and see what animal from a spirit perspective is helping us. And of course, the first card I pulled was the wolf again. So it's clearly still teacher, still here. The next card, though, is super cool. It's the alligator. And can you see that? An alligator in this deck from Jamie Sams and David Carson, 2 Indigenous teachers. Alligator is all about integration. And it's to fully appreciate and integrate all that life offers. And to be able to do that, we have to do a practice of stillness. We have to strengthen that practice. So alligator is here to help us with that integration of what stillness can bring to us. And raven was the other card. And raven is all about magic. So there's just such a really cool story about all of this, but it's like mystical as the moon. The moon is also still, right? The moon is here at night. The moon is out when it's, I mean, you can see it during the day, but it's really, for us, has a lot of power at nighttime because it can light our way. And things like that. But that's also a time, like for our species, when we're more quiet, but also when we have some stillness at night, we can hear the creatures that like to be more active at night, like the owls and whatnot. So, so stillness. How can you, with your animals' help, practice stillness for the month of May? And again, it can be counterintuitive because we're trying to get here in the Northern Hemisphere, or even we're trying to get our yards together. We're trying to do all the things, right? We're finally getting outside after winter. So how can you practice stillness with your animal? Let them guide you, let them show you. How can we practice that? And then call on alligator and ask for help from integration, and call on raven and ask for help from a magic perspective. And remember that wolf is your teacher as well. So that's the animal messages for May. Stillness. I know it's, for me personally, it's going to be continue to be difficult, but I'm hoping to be able to find some time to be able to do a little bit of stillness every single day, even if it's 30 seconds. But notice how you're feeling, even if you're trying to be stillness. Notice what your animal's doing when you're trying to be still. Just be aware, because we're opening up even more for greater awareness. And this is just one of those steps. So I hope you will tell me how things are going. We're going to do things a little bit differently here in May as well. What we're going to do is we're going to meet on, I'm just making sure I've got the date right, May 6th. I'm going to put this down below too. We're going to meet on maybe May 6th. I'm going to double check that. But what we're going to do in the monthly meetup for the animal messages is I'm actually going to, whoever can be and attend there with me, I'm going to help you find out from your animal how they're helping you with stillness. So I will do, and they're not so much animal communication readings, but I will tune into your animal and to you and find out what is it that, exactly do they want to help you with stillness? And that way you can walk out of that conversation with a little bit more information, about how things are going for you with your homework in particular, and get a little more guidance from your animal specifically. So I hope you can join me live. I will put the information below. So that, and this is for paid subscribers as well. So if you're not a paid subscriber or interested, there's ways to join as well. But hopefully you would be able to meet us there and hear from your animal on stillness. So have a really good month, and I will see you really soon. Take care.